Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I'm getting coached by Lucas Sacco. And yeah, you want to say anything before we hop in?
No, I'm Lucas Sacco. You can check out my YouTube down below.
Yep, I'll
That's
go ahead
it.
and link that. But alright, so just seeing the list, do you have any thoughts about it? Anything that you'd change?
So we're playing 41. I'm not always the biggest fan of playing above 40, just because it does hurt your deck's consistency. And Snake Eyes, I think it's probably fine. There is like a decision on if we wanted to cut down like a singular hand trap. I know they're playing one nib and like one talents for the crossout. There's
Hmm.
like an idea of if we're wanting to choose to just not play one of those for the utility with crossout in order to get down to 40. But it's probably fine just playing 41 for the time being. Link Spider is a little copium. It could probably be something else. I've seen a lot of people start to play like a second anima even. It helps with like it not being Link Karibo, being able to cycle into another one very consistently is good.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that's what I would recommend changing, just right off the bat. I'm looking at it.
Okay, I'll go ahead, take that out. So why two anima?
So the best thing about Link Karibo and why that card is banned is that it gave you infinite level one material or infinite Link material because like you always had the ability to put like a dark or always have it be like a Link monster for SP. So playing two animas kind of facilitates the same purpose of that, but also anima is like an actual good card going second. Like a lot of the time you're forcing through boards going second, you're going through your anima really early. That way you can force like an a Appaloosa negate or something like that, and then you still have like an anima later if you're needing to go for like a dark line or something or
Hmm.
an SP.
Okay, okay. How do you feel about Pit Knight early?
I like Pit Knight early in the Kestira builds of the deck if you're not playing the synchro stuff, just because you have so many bodies. In this build, it doesn't really come up that much, just because there is bodies. Like if you do open a two card combo to make your board better, like if you open the two card combo, you're gonna make Hope Harbinger, the Appaloosa, Flameburge, IP, Princess. But in like the pure builds that don't play any like synchro stuff, they don't play Snake Eyes Deval Star or like the Kestira builds when you open a lot of gas. You just end with a bunch of Link monsters, and so Pit Knight early helps facilitate extra disruptions on top of the board.
Okay, okay. Also, what are your thoughts on Typhon?
I think Typhon is an absolutely insane card. I think that in this format, it's not the best. However, it has its matchups where it's very good. Like specifically into branded, this card comes up a lot to just end the game. It like cuts off their grind a lot of the time.
Hmm.
Like helps you like finalize breaking the board if you don't get pop locked.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Also, how do you feel about the pure build versus the Kashtira build?
I like the Kestira build better. It gives you better cards going second. So basically, you'd swap out the crossouts and like a little bit of the non-engine to play Kashtira cards. They both serve the same purpose when you're going first of like helping you play through hand traps and things like that. But the Kashtira cards are much better when you're going second.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. So, if you were to like put the cash cards in, like you said, like cut cross out, would you cut like cross out, nib, and just add Kashtira cards? Like how many?
Yeah, I'd probably cut down crossout, talents, nib, and then probably one ogre, and then play like a five card Kashtira package.
Okay, okay. So your Kashtira package would look like this maybe, and then either like a second planet or a terraforming.
I like two planets. It's a little better in a drill, which we know people are starting to play more and more now.
Okay, okay.
Uh, the only thing is like if you're gonna play the Kashtira cards, you might as well just take out the second anima for Dracosac. That's like the only thing I think he changed though.
Mm-hmm. Or you said that you would also play Pit Knight early. Would you cut the
Yeah,
Typhon for it?
yeah, you could cut the Typhon for it if you wanted to play the Pit Knight early.
Okay, okay. And then also, how do you feel about the side deck?
I really like Bell right now. Bell is super funny into the Melodious deck. You can Bell the Ostinato, which is insane. The Bistios are nice. They give you good coverage across voiceless and branded. I think there needs to be maybe a little bit more backward removal. The called by seems like we're playing it because it's a one of, which is fair. That card is broken. But I don't know if it's like the best card for that spot when we could play something like a third Cosmic Cyclone, which might hit your like stun matchups a little better.
Okay, go ahead, take that out. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like in the pure build, it feels like hand traps hurt a lot more often. So like I don't know, having like called by is like pretty decent at being able to stop them, and then also if you get hit with like imperm or something, called by still like a trap card on their turn.
Yeah, I like the card a lot. It just feels like there could be better coverage for it. If we're gonna
Hmm.
play cold buy, I feel like we might as well just main deck it if the logic is that sound. However, I think it's more of a I'm going first, so I want more coverage. It's kind of win more,
Okay,
in my
okay.
opinion.
How do you feel about Metaltronus?
This card's really cool. It's really good into the mirror match. Being able to like summon Apo, like negate their Apo, and then turn Apo into Zelantis to force Taylor disruptions is really cool. I don't really love this card in the other matchups. If you looked at like some of like the spreadsheets or like some of the like mappings for it, there's like really random instances where this can come up against other decks. Like you can Metal Tronus any of the Tenpai monsters into Flameburge and banish their stuff. You can Metal Tronus a the Tenpai Synchro 7 into Ambler Will randomly. But I really like the card into the Snake Eyes matchup. I just don't think that people should be trying to force it into the other matchups to be playable.
Okay, so you would only side this in to like Snake Eye?
Yeah, pretty much only into the Snake Eye matchup.
Okay, okay. Also against Tenpai, do you make them go first game two? Like if you lose game one, or do you choose to go first?
Yeah, I choose to have them go first. If we get Heat Wave, we're gonna have the same cards as if we're going first, because it really just depends on the non-engine you draw if you beat that deck. I
Yeah.
think the Tenpai deck is not a very good choice for any sort of event right now, just because we do play a best of three format. But it's something to keep in mind. I like to send my opponent first. You'll have the odds of drawing your skill drains, your cosmics, on top of drawing like your non-engine hand traps. And then if you get heat wave, you set those. You just hope to turn skip them. The same thing can happen if you're going first. If you get shifter, they still have the ability to like kill you and floodgate you. Um, but I mean, it's a little bit better if you just send them first.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. How do you feel about Change of Heart in the side?
Oh, that card is broken. Being able to take your opponent's Apo is insane. You can do the same thing. Like, if you don't have many cards to play with, you can change apart the Apo and then instantly turn it into Zelantis. If you need to like finish breaking the board and then make sure your one engine card resolves, that's one thing you can do. Or just taking the Apo to start the turn off is insane. The change of heart is a lot better than talents because even though talents doesn't target, the change of heart can be your first action in the main phase before they have the ability to like SP banisher your take effect or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
I like change of heart a lot, and then it has the ability to attack too, so it's better than mind control.
yeah, 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 of course, of course. How do you feel about Ghost Ogre in the format? Or at least I should say in the main deck in this format.
So I really like Ghost Ogre. There's a few different things with playing like the level 3 tuners. If instead of playing the Snake Eyes Debel Star, you're playing Jet Synchron with any sort of like Herald combo, the level 3s get a little better because you can normal summon them. Like in the combo where you just open like Wanted, or you open Diabell Star and a spell descend off of the Diabell, you can normal summon a hand trap like Ogre, Mourner, Ash, and then your inboard is Herald, Apo, Flameburge, IP, which is really, really good. That's one of the reasons in my build I like playing a lot of Ogres, just because it makes your turn one a little bit better. But also, Ogre is really good into the Tempai matchup, because you can send this from your hand off of the Diabell Star, and then if you get hand trapped a bunch, you can go Flameburge, put Ogre in your spell trap zone. And Ogre is like, obviously a very effective hand trap into Tempai and Voiceless Voice.
Yeah, yeah. So you were saying that you play Herald of Arclight in your Snake Eye Kashtira build. I'm guessing that you also play Jet Synchron, if you don't mind leaking.
Yeah, I don't even mind. I can show my full list. It's the same list I've been playing for like 3 weeks.
Okay, okay. Um, okay, so how do you feel about playing? So you said like you like playing 40 because you like the consistency. Um, Obviously, like going over 40 allows you to draw bricks a little less often. I noticed that you don't play the Snake Eye Diabella Star in your list. How do you feel about that card in this deck?
So the Snake Eyes Dab Star card is insane. It's like an absolutely great card for the grind game, and it's a much better card to have in your deck list when you're going into any sort of grind game or breaking a board. But I feel like Jet Synchron is a better card to draw, as well as having like good utility with original summoning it. Jet Synchron also enables like weird things, like if you draw into Flame Burges, being able to play off of that. So I think it's like a pro and con thing about what you're really going into an event. I think that personally, I would play the Jet Synchron package for any sort of upcoming events, as I think the branded matchup is a little bit tough, and being able to make Herald of Arclight is really good into that matchup. So that's one reason that I'm starting to prefer the Jet Synchron over it. I don't think that I would ever play both of them, although the Snake Eyes D-Ball Star card is very good.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I also noticed that you're playing the puzzle, so I'm assuming that you're going for the puzzle combo, make something level 7 Draco Sack, and then Jet Synchron plus token in the Herald, or is there
Yeah,
something else that you're
exactly.
doing? Okay, okay, okay.
That's pretty much it. That's the main combo for it. It's nice having Puzzle Amino though. The card is really good for like random utility. It lets you like clear the field. Like if you get nibbed because you had to do like a weird combo, you're put in a weird situation. This can clear nibs because you can pop the nib token and then pop the nib on their field. You can also do really weird things because the Puzzle Amino is a spellcaster, so you can just turn any two guys into Puzzle Amino and then go to Celine, which makes you save your Charmers, which is really good.
Yeah, that's fair. I see that in your side deck you play a lot of like steel spells, so I'm guessing that you think like the mirror match against Snake Eye is going to be very popular. How do you feel about mind control?
Mind Control is very good. It doesn't let you attack, however, it still serves kind of the same purpose as Change of Heart, with being able to start off the turn with a board breaker that takes control of the biggest threat on the field.
Do you think this is better than Snatch Steal?
I do like it better than Snatch Steal, just because there's some interactions, especially against Fire King, where they'll get to like get the Kieran pop, where they can just pop the Snatch Steal and take their monster back, and then you're really screwed.
Okay, okay. Also, I see the second Fenrir in the side. Is this for rogue decks and siding patterns?
Yeah, mainly for rogue decks and siding patterns. It lets you side out the Birth, the Unicorn, and then any amount of Wraith Saws, and still have like a good engine in your deck. So if you're needing 3 extra like side spots, like in your side pattern, you can take out 1 Birth, 1 Wraith Saw, 1 Unicorn, put in the Fenrir. Then you have like 2 free spots that you just side out, and you still have a Kestira engine in your deck.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say you went up against like a Snake Eye deck, like a pure deck, and you won game one. Uh, so what would you side in? I'm guessing it's like all the steel spells, and then what would you side out?
So it definitely depends on like how my opponent's playing, like what they're actually playing. There's a lot of different variations of Snake Eye, whether it's board breakers, hand traps, or if they're playing like the Hope Harbinger boards. But in most matchups right now, I'm actually choosing to go second post side. So I'll take out all of the hand traps like Mourner, Valor, Ash that can't be used super effectively on my turn. Ogre is just as good on my turn as it is on their turn, being able to Ogre like an Appaloosa if they didn't make it with IP, or force some sort of disruption by ogring the IP itself. But it lets you basically play all breakers going second and not have to worry about talents. Because I've noticed that a lot of players are starting to play higher counts of talents. But also it helps with like making your opponent's hand more redundant because people are starting to play a lot of crossouts, called buys, things like that. And if they open more and more redundant cards in their hands, then it really helps with being able to break the board.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about one for one in the deck?
I think it's a needed extender for certain matchups. Like in Voiceless, it does take multiple cards from your hand. But against Voiceless, it's really just a question of can I open more engine cards than they have disruptions? Because all their engine cards pretty much just trade one for one. I really don't think that deck is too good, but I think that one for one is needed in most matchups just as a consistency card in general.
Okay, and then also you said you like playing two planet over one planet, one terraforming. Is that like just because of Droll?
Yeah, it's simply because of roll. Terraforming has more utility, being able to go terraforming into a divine temple if you open both of them. The odds that you open both are not great. It's like 0.2%, or I'm sorry, 2.2% to open both of your Wraith Saws. But or it would be terraforming Wraith Saw, I guess. But if you open both of them, it's still fine, right? One of them probably gets sent for your Diabell Star. If you're getting to full combo, the other one is getting discarded for Jet Synchron, so it ends up not mattering in most instances. So you might as well just play around Droll a little bit better. If you do get drolled on like the Wraith Saw out of Unicorn or Wraith Saw out of Fenrir, then summoning Diabell Star, sending a card from your hand gets you to full combo because you have an extra face-up card in your field from Wraith Saw.
Yeah.
So you usually still end with like Raging Phoenix, Princess, Flameburge, IP, or like a Zelantis if you want to link your Raging Phoenix into Zelantis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about only playing two Moonlit Chill?
I'm not the biggest fan of this card. I actually think the Ghost Ogre has better utility. But it's mainly for the side decking patterns because there's exactly like 8 cards that I really want to put into the mirror going second.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Oh, I also just realized, you cut Nib from the list completely. Do you think that card is not good into the meta overall?
I think Nib is one of the best cards in the game. Really funny, but you're quoted a lot in like my testing Discord from like a year and a half ago when you said that Nib plus any hand trap is like the end of the game, right? Nib on its own forces a disruption, but Nib plus any hand trap forces the game to end.
Mm-hmm.
However, in this format, like there's so much utility and there's so many like punishing cards like cross out and called by that nib plus any hand trap kind of just hand loops yourself sometimes. So I don't think it's worth playing that card, especially when you do have to open like multiple hand traps to have it be effective. Even in the one card combos you're playing around nib.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then I guess the last question about the list. Oh, I guess two more questions. But how do you feel about skill drain over something like deck lockdown or maybe putting like an anti spell in the deck?
Skill drain is better coverage. The main thing to be like focusing on when you're playing your go first card is which one is the most effective, like into a wider spread of matchups. Skill drain hits Tempai, Voiceless, the Mirror, as well as like random decks like Ubel, for being able to like start playing as well as like continue to play. So I like skill drain better than things like that. But also skill drain helps in instances where either you brick or you get hand trapped to death better than like D barrier or anti spell
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to stun them for longer than just one turn.
Okay, okay. And then last question is, how do you feel about like Lightning Storm and Harpies over maybe something like Cosmic or just like more hand traps for other matchups like maybe like Bell or Bastiles?
So the like main matchups where these are coming in is against stun decks like Runic Stun, Horus Stun, and Voiceless, just because it forces the disruptions there. Against the Voiceless deck, it's almost always better just to have Lightning Storm or Harpies. It's going one for one anyways if they're going to negate it. Except these have the possibility of trading with more cards. But until like the decks like Horus Stun and Runic Stun, like specifically Runic decks in general, you can just pass against your opponent. That's one thing that people still haven't figured out yet for some reason against Runic decks, is that you can just infinitely pass against them. Their board doesn't really get any better. It's not like their board is harder to break at some point, but you can kind of just pass until you draw into like a Harpies plus an Imperm, and then you Imperm their Hugin and you Harpies them and you kill them. So I prefer to have something like the bigger breakers in my deck as a against those decks.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, I guess one last question. One last question. How do you feel about maybe playing like a Sir Arvis in your list since you play Herald of Arclight, or do you feel like that card is just kind of like win more in that spot?
It's super cool. It gives you resistance from the like Princess Flamebird, or I'm sorry, the Princess Raging Phoenix Zelantis kill line. Because if you Herald negate it, you search Cerebus, and then you just negate their Princess affecting graveyard if it comes up. But it's kind of just win more. The Kashira cards already serve your purpose of playing through hand traps better, so I don't think you need to add another card to your deck, especially one that has zero utility at all, except when your opponent interacts with you.
Okay. All right. And yeah, I guess we can just hop into some or a match now. But okay. All right. Sure. 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 This guy is like 500 rating. He's got to be playing something real.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, he is pretty
Yeah.
good. So I guess how would you play this?
So honestly, if I do open Ash Diabel going first, I just start with like the normal combo 10 with the Hope Harbinger. So you go like Ash, Poplar, and then you play it that way. Like you're gonna go for the early Celine Hope Harbinger line.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So then we got Valord. Usually I like to chain Wanted to this. It just adds more interaction to your opponent. This gives your opponent more time to misplay. So Chainlink 1 Ash, Chainlink 2 Valor, Chainlink 3 Wanted. Um, I don't know. Activating cards at random timing and like acting like they have a purpose gives your opponent more room to misplay. It like gives them more thought in their brain that they're doing something correctly. But right here we're just gonna add Snake Eye Diabell Star. We already have Diabell. Then we can go summon Diabell, send the bad Diabell. And then the line
Then
from here is pretty standard, actually. You go original, you can either send the Ash or the Diabell Star, it doesn't really matter. Bring out Oak. If you send the Diabell Star, you can go for Poplar and you with a similar board anyways.
sheesh.
Awesome.
Okay. So
So
would you want to draw here, or do you just?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. So in my mind, I've lost this game at this point. I've gotten double hand trapped. I have two hand traps to stop them, but I'm going to die because they're going to have 3 engine cards.
Huh.
But this is like a way that we don't die. So we can bonfire now into Poplar, and then Poplar get field spell.
That's kind of a crazy draw. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So Poplar summons out. You grab field spell now, and then you use this field spell to place Flameburge.
Okay, then why are we placing Flamebird?
So Flamebirds is our best protection if we get nibbed to this point. We've already been hand trapped twice, and we do have lines to play through the next couple things that are happening. So like the next line would be link into Hida, and then we can go Poplar to place the Snake Eyes Deval Star on the spell trap. Then we can go Hida effect to take the Ash.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So then, in order to keep our like plays live through Nib, because if we like summon Snake Eye Deval Star now, we have to put one of our level ones in the spell trap zone, which is not what we'd prefer. We'd like to leave both of those engraved if possible. That way, if Flamebird is live, we can link these away into Princess, and then we can go Snake Eye Deval Star to put the Hida in the spell trap zone now.
Okay.
Then we can go Princess effect to summon out Ash. Then Ash effect to send the Hida from spell trap zone.
Alright, so do you just summon out Oak here or Flamebird?
I usually summon out Oak. It's better just to get all the names in rotation. That way your follow-up's a little bit better. And then it doesn't matter what Oak summons. It's just going to be a body for linking. So now there's a couple things. Oh,
Fair
nice.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay,
So with that board,
yeah. Okay. I was gonna ask. Like blind siding, they play 40 cards in their deck. They hand trapped you twice. What would you put in?
I'm assuming it's Snake Eye, to be honest. But at the same time, like a lot of the side patterns in the deck are they're like good against everything except for Metal Tronus. So like you're gonna be putting in your Change of Heart because that card is like really good going second almost every matchup except for Voiceless. And then that's pretty much it. I think I would take out Nib if it's blind, just because there's still so many matchups where the card is not fantastic right now.
Yeah.
But also, it's like we talked about, you have to open a couple things with it.
Okay.
I think Cosmic is a little bit better than Crossout if we're going second. I really don't like Crossout as a card in general going second.
Okay, so you think we just leave it like that?
Yeah, this would be how I would play it with this deck list.
Okay. Now they're gonna send us first. I was gonna imagine just 10 pie. Gotta
Right.
guess. A little unfortunate.
It's fine. If A starter.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
now we're playing some real decks.
Alright. I'm just gonna. I guess, honestly, we just end it there. And just, like, I don't know, we could just do game one. And then. I guess we just find another match and do, like, another game one. See how you like, play through hand traps and stuff. So I feel like, honestly, that's, like, fine enough. I think people will be interested in that. I don't think people will be too interested in watching us get comboed by Super Heavy Samurai.
There's a chance this guy's not playing Super Heavy Samurai or S-Force.
Said, hey, yo. This guy's gonna be sick if I leave the match because he's on Rogue.
Sounds nice. The original helps you play through hand traps. I usually don't mind if I end up drawing both.
Dude, looks
Well,
like
this is a good matchup to test.
Yeah. Looks like a real deck. Looks like a real deck. Probably just pure because they're on 40.
It can also be the Snake Eye one. I've seen some of the Snake Eye list play 40. They're playing the Melodious stuff. I know that Blake Morrison was playing it. Oh, and it's pure.
Playing 40 in that build sounds kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
You can get there.
Would you?
I ogre this guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh, we're not ogring that guy.
Oh, that just became real rough real quick.
That's crazy. I think we still have a good chance at breaking this board, to be honest. Ogre's really manageable into this deck's end board. A lot of the time, they're going to activate the level 4 scale to send, and ogring it there still cuts off their scales.
Yeah. I guess that's like only if they.
Oh yeah,
link
they get
this
this off.
off right
Sure.
now. No, I feel like I don't know, playing into the Melodious board sometimes is like really hard. Just because like flowering bounds, especially if they have Aria there in the DD Crow.
Mhm.
Okay, so would you ogre this here?
So ogring it stops the fusion effect. However, they do still have like a weird Baka line where they can like link and go into the link too. But it makes them get it off the field if they're not going for gravity controller. So I would ogre this just because it's going to force some sort of interaction. Gives them a higher chance that they link away their Arias.
Yeah, yeah.
Aria, whatever the card's name is.
Yeah, same thing, potato potato. And we could
Yeah.
probably moonlit the link too whenever they use it. Assuming that they get rid of this.
Right. I mean, even if they go for like mine or a gravity controller, they're summoning back the Melodious Girl from grave, and then they're fusioning with the one from field, right? The Aria from field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, yeah, so they're just making the gravity play.
So it's just gonna make him commit more resources from hand, the way they're doing it now, to hold Aria on the field.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're winning this. I don't know how one order did that much, but
Yeah.
uh, so going second, I usually start with the Abel Star. It's the card that forces the most disruptions just because it's big. But also we have original. So if we're assuming our opponent's going to imperm our first interaction to hope that's enough, then we do have like the biggest punish for it.
Mm-hmm. So would you still discard the Snake Idea Battlestar here, even though they have like triple DD Crow?
I would. I don't think that this Snake Eyes Devil Star card is going to matter into breaking this board that much, and they're going to triple DD Cross at some point in the turn anyways.
Yeah. Alright, so
If we can somehow force them to hit it early on this Snake Eyes Devil Star card instead of on Flameburge effect, then yeah, it's a win.
yeah,
Nice.
that's definitely a win. We'll
Yeah.
take that.
So then we have the next option, which is if we're going to summon Snake Eye Ash or original. I think that it's probably better if we normal summon Snake Eye Ash, just because if our opponent does have hand traps, then they're more likely to hand trap the Snake Eye Ash than the like original, because they're not going to really think we have original access, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So bring that out, get hand trapped. Okay.
Nice. So there's a couple different options. We can go for some link plays now, or we can go original send and go for like a Poplar.
Because I mean, they do have a darking.
They do have a dark for us to take.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this can still DD Crow that too. So a little bit rough. Hmm.
Just not too sure because we could go for a dark play dark take mine gravity controller link with the dark into princess and then princess effect, and that's gonna force the Schuberta. They're just gonna banish everything if we do that, and then we could go original send the princess to summon, but that still doesn't give us that many disruptions. You know, it doesn't give us the like enough gas to fully push through the board. So the other option would be if we're wanting to activate original now, send the Diabell Star or the Ash, go for Poplar. Poplar get field spell, and then we can see if we can link away the Poplar and put the Snake Eyes Diabell Star in the spell trap zone before we like really play into Schuberta.
Okay.
So
Alright,
yeah,
so-
activate this, price in the Snake Eye Ash.
Alright, you said bring out Poplar.
Yeah, I would bring out Poplar here and then get field spell.
Okay. Now, do you think we activate Field Spell next to try to see if this will get used? Because we could like spell traps on this.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Would be field spell. I don't think they're gonna Schuberta us on this effect. But they definitely could. I don't think they're going to though. I think this is like a sneaky play to pull this from graveyard to spell trap.
Okay. Yeah. Just see if it works. Okay. So, do you
Okay.
think you'd still just place this?
Yeah, I just placed that. That gets us 3 bodies instead of 2. It's like the next thing is playing on Nib, which if we go Snake Eyes Diablo Star, put Ash in the spell trap zone, it definitely plays around Nib.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can kind of just link climb upward. It doesn't equal lethal if we just like start link climbing, unless we go for like Selene access code. But then that plays into Schuberta.
Yeah. So you think we
Um,
just use this here then?
yeah, we can go for Snake Eyes Diablo Star. I don't think we're gonna be able to kill our opponent because of the interruptions that we know they have. The main thing would just be setting up the most disruptions possible through it. Huh.
Yeah, probably banish the
Okay.
gravity. Okay.
So we can still do some things here. Like we could also just go link one to Anima and then SP one of their scales because they don't have follow up really that we know about. If we just banish their the scale 9, I'm pretty sure that puts us in a winning position. And we
Okay.
still get follow up because we haven't used Poplar's Grave Effect yet, so we can Poplar place itself in spell.
Alright. Go ahead. Make that. Shout out DB lag.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could have alternatively like attacked first, but I don't think it's gonna matter. I kind of want the Schubert on the field.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this was halved by droplet.
That's right. Uh, that's fine then. We can just go in phase.
Yeah, so probably just like beat over this, maybe try to summon, get hit with Moonlit on Link 2.
Mhm.
This games it permanently. Yeah, it does. Okay. So if they summon, we definitely just like temple summon out
Yeah,
Poplar, right?
absolutely. At this point, they're really not threatening anything. I think if they had a line, they would have done it in phase 1.
Yeah. Unless if it just like lost to this. Okay. Yeah, so they're just gonna make Link 2.
We
So
should trigger this Poplar now.
yeah.
We don't get the Poplar effects, we have no target, but it gives us a body. It's like next turn, if we have a hand trap, we can normal summon it, link it away, and then Snake has Deep Stars of Fire put back.
Mm-hmm. And we also play the double anima.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So they possibly have a Fenrir,
It's
would be
probably
my
like the
assumption.
Ostinato or first movement solo.
Sure. It's fine. This still loses to Mourner.
Yeah, they have already gone through gravity. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, definitely just stop that.
They have no lines. Like we know what they have. The only like legal activation they have now is they can activate the pen scale effect to them. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give them any sort of lines of play or resources. And the next turn we at least have access to like summon Snake Eddy Ball from Spell Trap, and then we can put both in Spell Trap again by swinging.
Yeah. Put them on top deck. Okay.
Okay, that does it as well. Uh, how I've wanted, but it gives us more bodies. So we can go link one with Poplar. Poplar put itself in Spell Trap zone. We can go Diabell send Poplar from Spell Trap. Place wanted. We have Snake Eye Diabell Star summon out anytime. We still don't have like any big lines of play to get us to full combo here. So I think the main thing is just trying to put our opponent on not have like mini resources. We could go like for like a weird access code line, but that's just gonna result in them getting like follow up. They have the level 4 in graveyard, right? The pendulum level 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we get rid of the Baka, then they're going to summon that out. I mean, honestly, we could just go for summon out Snake Idea Bellstar, effect attack into the fusion, and then we can block their pendulum zone with it as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like the one. Okay. Fair enough. Then do we just pass with like the Anima Black Witch? Yeah,
Passing with
probably.
Black Witch is probably fine.
Okay. Yeah, and then we just have follow up.
We have full combo next turn. The main thing is like if they can top deck playable, we're kind of in trouble. But they have gone through so much engine, they really don't have many left, and they also still lose access to pendulum zones.
Okay, so they're passing.
And then you should do this in end phase.
So I know we have a Black Witch in graveyard, but do you still search Black Witch from deck here?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
The only way you lose is like they have some like weird hand trap or interaction, and so drawing into like cross out or talents would be the best thing we could do, which is deck thinning helps with.
Okay.
So it's probably wanted but back original.
Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Hello, Future Grinder here. Alright, if you would like to see the rest of that match, make sure to go ahead and check out my Patreon. I am going to be uploading the rest of the live coaching there from that match. Also, I'm going to be uploading another coaching video soon where me and the coach actually VOD review over that match, and that part of it will be on the YouTube channel shortly. And then I will be having another exclusive part of the coaching on the Patreon here soon. So if you want to go ahead and check out the Patreon, I'll link that down below in the description. And alright, back to past Grinder. I guess final things about the list. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we actually talked about everything before. I don't think there's really too much more to talk about. I guess, like, how do you feel about Dispat or Omega?
This Pet Omega is a combo that if you resolve it, you're probably gonna win the game. You still like hard lose to like take control cards, like Change of Heart, Mind Control, things like that. There is like a heavier package that some people are playing with like Formula into like Herald, but I don't think that package is as real. But that combo is still something to look out for. But board breakers like obliterate that deck, and even like hand traps obliterate it. Because if you Ghost Ogre their Omega, their board is infinitely worse.
Okay. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I think that's just gonna be it for the video. I think that was pretty good besides us having to skip over a few rogue decks. Alright, do you have any final shout outs you wanna give, to like your coaching or YouTube or whatever?
Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, check out my Metafy or my YouTube down below. The Snake Eyes Bellstar floated to our hand a few times. I think if it was a Jet Synchron, things would have been a little different in some of the games. I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. There's a lot of different things to look at. There's so many variables in the game.
Alright, so yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. And with that being said, the GB Grinder signing off. Peace, have a nice day, stay safe.